Hello, thanks for coming by. This is Joanne Kling from the ProMark Insurance Agency. This is my last video that I'm recording. Could be the first that you've taken a chance to listen to. So I wanted to talk a little bit about optional coverages that we have available for you. One of the first things that we help you with when you become a client is liability insurance. That's our core coverage. In order to even start a program that's customized for you, we need premises and operations liability for you. From there, we add property insurance, which I have already talked about, for the studio, tenants, improvements, and betterments. It could be the building and your contents itself. From there, we can add an umbrella liability policy. And what an umbrella does is give an additional at least $1 million in coverage over and above that general liability policy that's part of the core. A landlord may require higher limits, or a venue. Sometimes it's just cheaper to buy an umbrella than to just have a higher liability policy. Workers' compensation is another area. In most states, employers are obligated to handle employees in the event of injury on the job. So it's your obligation, and a remedy for that is to buy the workers' compensation policy, and in most states we can help with workers' compensation. Employers also have an obligation to treat employees fairly, not discriminate, hire and promote within as need be. Any of these practices that are not happening, you can buy employment practices liability to protect yourself. And maybe you've done everything correctly, but you have a disgruntled employee. At least if you have this coverage protection, you would have insurance in the event of a lawsuit. Without employment practices liability, there would be no legal defense. So the next area in my next bullet is cybersecurity and privacy liability. So cybersecurity gives you protection for your network that maybe crashes, or maybe you're hacked or held ransom. With the Zoom classes going on today, if you want to make sure you have protection in the event of a crash, or again, the ransom being held ransom, we have cybersecurity available for you. The second part of a cyber policy is privacy. So when you're taking in credit card information, and maybe checking account information, names coupled with dates of birth, you are obligated to keep that information private. Many of you are using a third-party vendor software, and you think you may not be liable, but it's just be cautious, read your agreements, because if anything happens and there is a breach, you're going to be called in on a lawsuit, and the privacy liability would protect you. We do have a little bit of flood coverage in our preferred program, but outside of the one company with the offering of flood, it would be excluded. It's a catastrophic exposure, as is earthquake. So if you need the coverage, or you are interested in quotations for earthquake or flood, we can help you with those two lines. The next bullet point I'd like to talk about is business auto. Many studios do not transport their students, but some do, maybe to competitions or other, taking them home at the end of the day. We can write business auto insurance for you if you have that exposure and you have a vehicle that's registered to the business. The last two items in areas of where we can help, we can write a disability policy. So if your business were to fail because you can't operate it, and you can't get anybody in to help you, there is a disability policy that we can have issued for you. And life insurance, we can do term insurance, we can do universal life, whole life, various kinds of insurance. So that's it in a nutshell. We can learn more and talk more offline, and hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for your attention, and thanks for stopping by. Bye now.